Okay, it is 11:41. We're going to open the meeting of the Floresville Light and Power Systems special meeting. We will begin with the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses, forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. Amen. We don't have any citizens' comments. No one signed up. We will get into the consideration and adoption of a resolution by the Phelps system to sell some bonds. And I think Bob is going to make a quick presentation.
Correct.
Good morning. For the record, my name is Robert Henderson. I'm the managing director of RBC Capital Markets. We have the honor and privilege of being financial advisors to the Phelps system. Also with us is Matt Lee from Norton Fulbright. I've been around so long, I still want to say Fulbright University, who's bond counsel for the system. Mr. Lee has prepared a resolution that is the subject of the agenda for the meeting this morning. But before we get to that resolution, we want to talk about the pricing results and where we're at. As you are aware, the transaction had been originally expected to be priced last Thursday, but because of the lack of quorum, we delayed the pricing and went into the marketplace at 9 a.m. Central Time this morning. We have final results from the underwriters that was negotiated with our underwriting team, and the final results are a par value of $13,365,000 worth of bonds, sold at a premium, meaning sold at a price above the stated par value of the bonds, in order to produce not only the full $13,500,000 deposit for the construction fund that Phelps needs for his capital projects, but also to cover 100% of the cost involved in the transactions. That includes financial advisory fees, legal fees, bond raising fees, document preparation, attorney general's fees, the fees of the underwriters and underwriters counsel, and fees of AGM, an insurance company that did two things for the Phelps system transaction this morning. One was provide a surety bond to meet the requirements of the revenue bond ordinance as it pertains to the reserve funds, so that you do not have to cash fund the reserves as we've done in the past. We issued a surety bond for that. Also, they insured the bond transaction itself, so for the benefit of the bond holders. I want to re-emphasize that. We get a lot of questions about what bond insurance means. Bond insurance does not insure Phelps from making the debt service payments, but it guarantees to the bond holders that their payments will be made in a full and timely fashion. So they provided those services in those two regards, and we were able to enter the marketplace this morning. The result of the pricing is basically identical to where we went into the market this morning, and produces an all-in TIC, TIC being true interest cost, all-in meaning taking into consideration all of the various expenses related to the transaction that I just articulated. The all-in true interest cost came out to 4.243767. That produced a total amount of funds to the transaction of $13,822,000, and again, after the cost of issuance and other related expenses, we're going to be depositing $13,500,000 to the deposit construction account of Phelps. Mr. Lee has provided a resolution reflecting these numbers. Separately, what's called a bond purchase agreement will be acted upon by the City Council at 12:30 this afternoon. Mr. Lee and myself will accompany Mr. Prosty and Ms. Jacobs over to the board council meeting to explain these details to them. Before I turn it over to Matt to speak to the resolution itself, do you have any questions about the pricing process or the results? Mr. Lissy, do you have any questions, sir?
No, sir.
Well, with that, then I'll turn it over to Mr. Lee.
Thank you. As Bob mentioned, my name is Matt Lee with the law firm of Norton Schoolbright. We serve as bond counsel to the system. Before you is a resolution that's recommending that the city council of the city of Floresville issue these bonds. As you're aware, as we've done in the past, the city of Floresville is actually the issuer of the bonds, but the funds will be deposited at closing on December 29th into Phelps's general fund, or construction fund for y'all's use for y'all's projects that are stated in here. So the resolution, the intent of it is to recommend to the city to authorize the bonds. We're going to go after this meeting to the city council meeting at 12:30 to adopt the actual ordinance. I just finished that up right now and circulated via email, so that's going to be presented to city council at 12:30. What the resolution also says is it authorizes, the CEO, the CFO, myself as bond counsel, Bob as financial advisor to finish up the sale, finish up the issuance of the bonds with the Attorney General's office, with all the different parties and things that need to happen between now and December 29th so that you guys can get your funds. So I'm happy to answer any questions that you all might have on the resolution that's in front of you, or the process in general. We have pre-filed this transcript with the Attorney General's office to meet their timelines. So once we get all the documentation from today's meetings, we'll supplement that filing with the Attorney General's office so that we stay on time.
The only question I have is we have one statement here, this is sufficient, rather than a statement on the top of this handout you gave.
That's correct, sir. We streamline the motion language because we like to keep our clients. We don't want you to get mad at us for the long, those captions can get quite long, so.
Gotcha.
Yes, sir.
Is there anything else that we need to know before we ask for a motion?
I don't think so.
We have, Mr. Tahada, would you like to make the motion?
And where's the caption again?
Hydrogen.
It's the very last page.
Okay. Okay, I so move that the board adopt a resolution relating to the issuance and sale of bonds designated as City of Floresville, Texas, Electric Light and Power System Improvement Revenue Bond Series 2022.
Okay, we have a motion before the chair. Do I hear a second? Mr. Lissy?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and we have a second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Can we have a three votes? Any nays? No nays? Resolution passes. Thank you, gentlemen.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, the next order of business before us is, we need to look into the review and action on the project management service agreement for 2023.
Yep, I've got that. I brought it up the last board meeting. The largest capital project we've got next year is at Floresville substation. It's about a $4.7 million project, the biggest one we've had maybe in forever, at Bell. So it's very, very important. It's also an extremely complex project, and because of that, we sought out project management support because we've only got one engineer, as you know, and Amanda's covered up all day, every day. So we found a company that does this. They'd like to provide you a loan project manager. And we had them look at everything we put into the budget. And I challenged them. I said, well, we don't have any more budget money. If you guys could come in under our budget money, then maybe I can afford it. Kind of put it like that. And they came back with a savings $440,000 if they were PM it. And their charges are $170, and we get a project manager to work with Amanda. So we save $440, spend one, and we get a $170,000 resource.
Okay, you need
And because it's over $50,000, I need board approval to sign an agreement for $172,000
and the cost of this project manager is already in
in the budget.
budget.
Mhm. But he's basically paying for himself with all that savings.
Okay.
So, and it's really risk. This is a huge, complex project. There's risk of what makes me sleep, honestly, better at night. This guy, he does these all day, every day, doesn't, you know, he does 5 or 6 complex projects every single year, so. And he'll be making reports to the board during the year about the project, I think, he'll be pleased.
Any other questions?
So Mark, that 170, it's not coming out of our current budget.
Correct.
Oh, it is?
It's coming out of the existing budget. He found 440 savings, and I want to spend 170 to pay for him. He looked at everything we put in the budget that we approved and said he can do it better and more efficient and cheaper by 440. Does that make sense? As otherwise, I told him, man, we got the extra money, you know.
If I understand it right, we put like 1.5 million in the budget for a new transformer.
Plus,
And then we put another $500,000 in the budget to do the project.
well, actually, the total thing with all in is $4.7 million. It's over $4 million for Floresville. If you add the transformer, the circuit switcher, we bought a circuit switcher, and all the equipment. We're changing out darn near everything in that substation. It's a very complex project.
It has nothing to do with the bond we just approved.
Nope.
No.
I just needed approval. I can't sign a document with anybody because it's $170,000. I need to put this guy to work.
That's what we,
Mr. Lewis, do you have any questions?
No questions, is that a motion?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mr. Tahada had a motion.
We have the motion, we're looking for a second.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second before the chair. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, we have 3 votes for, we have no nays. Is there anything else that the board needs to take before now? Can we adjourn this meeting?
Sir. Thanks, Brady.
Ray, thank you. You have a safe
All right,
trip
thank you
home.
very